Hi guys, it's Sunny. I'm back. So just a friendly reminder, I am not monetized at all. So please hit that thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button because that's the only motivation for me to continuing to share this stuff with you. And most important, please comment if you disagree with something I say, if you have a similar experience you'd love to share. If you need any clarification, or if there are new questions you have about the real ballroom dance world, because I am an open book. I'm happy to share, and my goal here is to share with you information that you find to be interesting or helpful. So I'm noticing we have many viewers kind of interested in trying their hand in competition themselves. So I thought it might be helpful for you guys to learn how to prepare for that very first competition that you do. So first off, there are two primary divisions at your level. One will be amateur, where you compete with an amateur partner. The other will be pro-am, where you compete with your teacher. So this would be similar to what you see on the show Dancing Queens and what you see on the show Dancing with the Stars. And there are pros and cons to both. Certainly the biggest pro to dancing amateur is it's much cheaper. So if you have very limited finances, do try and pursue an amateur partner. But in Pro-Am, you just pay your teacher to compete with you. And they'll compete at whatever skill level you want. So my first suggestion, before you enter your first competition, attend a competition. And the easiest will be one that's within driving distance of you. You can ask your teacher for recommendations on comps they know, or you can look online. And I've shared resources on where to find those comps in previous videos. When you attend that competition, buy admission tickets for at least one day, one evening session, one day session. Generally, the more beginning level couples dance in the daytime session, which might start as early as 7 a.m. and end around dinner time, or at latest the early afternoon. And you'll get to see people that are dancing at your skill level. Who will I be up against when I'm on that first competition dance floor? It's very helpful to see, kind of smooth your nerves, let you just see how these things work. What do people dress like? How do they walk on the floor? And that will greatly relieve the stress on your very first comp day if you just go and watch. Generally, these things take 2 to 7 days for the whole comp to progress. You certainly don't have to attend the whole competition, but I would attend as much as you can. At a minimum, one day session, one evening session. The benefit to seeing an evening session is that's when the better dancers dance. So you'll get to see the higher level pros, see the higher level amateurs, and kind of be inspired for where you would like to take your dancing to. Okay. And honestly, you might go there and decide, ooh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, not for me, in which case that's great too, because you don't invest all that time and money into doing something you're not going to enjoy or feel comfortable doing. Okay, while you're at that first comp, make sure to try on costumes and try on shoes so you can find a really comfortable pair of shoes. That's super important. And you'll also want to try on costumes. Usually there's a vendor there where they'll have costumes hanging out for sale. But if there's not a vendor, go into the ladies' changing room or men's changing room. Often the existing competitors there will have costumes just hanging with a price tag on them that they want to sell. And I do highly recommend used costumes. It's a great way to save money, especially your first time coming out of the shoot. Just to see, does that style look good on me? Because certainly when I started, there were a couple styles I thought, oh, I can't wait to get a costume that looks like that. And when I put them on me, it looked so frumpy, even though it was beautiful on someone else's body. So definitely try on the stuff and see what looks best on you. Okay, so next, if you decide, hey, this is something I'm really interested in, tell your teacher, hey, I'm interested in competing, or they won't know. They will likely have very good advice for you as to where to compete, what levels to compete in, how to register. Very, very helpful, okay? I'll tell you, it is a red flag if they tell you not to. That would be indicative that they do not have the skill to create a successful competitor. And which happens. Most ballroom dance teachers are just social dance teachers. They completely lack the skill to have someone shine on a comp floor, because social dancing and competitive dancing are two very different animals. And it takes a heck of a lot more training to be a competition level instructor. So don't be offended if they say they can't, or even if they say don't. Just look for a better pro. Honestly, one competition I went to, there was a local pro who I know was not a competent competition level teacher. And she sent an amateur couple to compete at this comp. And it was literally embarrassing for everyone in the room how horribly they looked on the floor, how terribly this reflected on the teachers. The judges were talking about this in the judging room, just how shameful it was that someone who was incompetent would send such an incompetent couple to a comp like this. I'm sure it was really uncomfortable for that couple too, to get there and to their first comp and see, whoa, I am so crazy outclassed here. I wish my pro would have told me. So anyway, those are warning signs. If they tell you not to compete, listen and find someone else. But assuming you are taking with a competent pro, they can walk you through that registration process, because it is very confusing your first time. Don't worry, it will get a lot less confusing later. It'll be second nature, but they will tell you probably to compete in the newcomer, the bronze, which everyone starts with. You will need to get special choreography from your teacher to compete when you're starting out. In the newcomer and the bronze, you are limited to what's called the syllabus. There's a finite number of figures you're allowed to do. And if you do anything in addition to those figures, you're automatically disqualified. And you don't want to place last just because you were ill prepared. There's even limitations on which figures you can do back to back, even though if they work and they're logical and they're real patterns. So absolutely invest in good choreography that will be eligible for you to compete in your appropriate category, okay? The upside, again, of Prem is your pro's experience. They'll be able to handle that stuff for you. But as a general rule, you'll want bronze choreography, and you'll want to enter the bronze or newcomer divisions. Newcomer, definitely, if they have it. I also recommend you try as many styles as you can in that first competition. If you know just one dance in each style, do it. You don't have to come out of the chute knowing everything. If you just know a cha-cha in Latin, a cha-cha in rhythm, a waltz in smooth, a waltz in standard, you can dance that at this first comp. It's a great idea to sample all sorts of different styles, because you may have a special aptitude and talent in one of those styles that you don't realize until you're actually on that comp floor. It'll also be helpful for you to kind of experience those different kind of, I'll call them subcultures, because the Latin costumes are quite flashy. The ballroom costumes are quite sophisticated, and you might feel more comfortable in one versus the other. And certainly your enjoyment is the number one priority. But secondly, I would definitely take into consideration any natural aptitude you have. Certainly, I would not have pursued the standard. In fact, when I first entered that style in that first comp, I had never even taken a lesson in it, and I won first place out of a semifinal. So I was like, wow, maybe I should consider this. Maybe I could be good at it. So you never know what's going to happen, okay? And finally, in preparation for that first comp, watch what you eat, watch your fitness level. It is a horrible idea to diet the week before the comp, crash diet the day before a comp. That is a recipe for disaster. So if you're concerned about how your physique will look on the floor, eat healthy now. It is a horrible idea to lose a bunch of weight at once. I wouldn't lose more than a pound a week, and I even think that is generous. So anyway, I have a lot more to share. I want to stay under that 10-minute mark. So definitely join me tomorrow. I have a lot more to share with you that'll help you prepare for that first comp. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. Remember to press that thumbs up button, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.